dude, that was an awesome win.
Yeah, it was, but enough about that. Can you play?
Definitely better than you. What position?
At this point, any of them.
Let's go! Do you have a humiliation kit? This is all I ask you to do.
I'm having a great finger flick.
You're allowed to show up. This team is ruining my life.
I'm taking crazy pills. With you, wherever you are, welcome to LFR. Victory, Puppy Ziggy! I would give you one for every guy who's on IR right now, but I think you might barf. Last one, here we go. That's not good at all. They are so the Leafs. Leafs win 3-0 over the Vegas Golden Knights. I'm sure I don't need to tell you the position the Leafs were in heading into this game, but just in case. Auston Matthews is on IR. You already knew that, and IR is concerning, but it's not LTIR. You know what is concerning though? IR, but in Germany. He's gone to Europe to see doctors there, and it's not a question of are the doctors very good. I'm sure the doctors are very good. It's more about how bad are things actually if you need to get treatment in Germany. Who else is hurt? Dakota Mermis, he's on LTIR. A lot of you don't even remember who that is, but he was on season opening LTIR, and I don't like the disrespect. But seriously, David Kampf, IR. There's 2 centers. Max Domi, IR. 2.5, maybe 3 centers. Max Pacioretty, LTIR. Kelly Arncroke, who has played center in a pinch, LTIR. Oh, and Ryan Reeves, suspended. Like long suspended, 5 games suspended. How many games have they played since he got suspended? Oh, 1! He's got 4 more of them. Connor Dewar was injured a long time, throw him in the lineup. Alex Steves got called up, throw him in the lineup. Fraser Minton got called up, throw the kid in the lineup. And Nikita Grabenkin never played an NHL game before, throw him in the lineup. And as for all the guys in the lineup worried about being a healthy scratch at some point, Nick Robertson, Pontus Holmberg, you don't worry about it, you're both in. So heading into this game against the Golden Knights, home ice advantage, point Leafs. But on the other side of it, there were no Leafs to take advantage of home ice advantage. Half of them are Marlies. There was, reason, perhaps concern, to think that the Leafs might lose this game. The one thing going in their favor, Vegas didn't start Ilya Samsonov. For any Golden Knights fans confused about that, he's a former Leaf, which means he would have turned into George Vezina. Sorry, you might not know who George Vezina is yet. Marc-Andre Fleury in your inaugural season. Yeah. And let's not bury the lead. A couple pretty controversial hits in this one, too. Looks like Matthew Knies is going to be out as well. So let's talk about the game, including that. Listen, I've talked about this heading into every Leafs game. I make the LFR video in my head as the game is going. Before the puck had even dropped for this one, I'm thinking about ways to positively talk about a loss. Like, I'm thinking about this game the way I used to think of games when the Leafs were rebuilding. Like, when the Leafs were rebuilding, who cares if they won or lost? Half the time, you wanted them to get a better draft pick, and how do you do that? That ain't winning. But you look at the individual performances of the younger guys, the talented guys, the guys who could just use a little boost. And you go, yeah, they lost, but turns out this team wasn't all that interested in that. Listen, let's not mince words. The Leafs were the second best team for the first 40 minutes of this game. Vegas pulled ahead in shots, then pulled way ahead in shots, and then the Leafs just really found it in the third period. It was wild. Despite being shorthanded and without Knies, if you're looking for guys to step up in the absence of the players who are missing, Knies is what, like pick number 3? Marner, Nylander, I guess Tavares, maybe 4? He's in your top 5 and he ain't 5. Not to mention, Auston Matthews kills penalties. David Kampf kills penalties. Vegas Golden Knights, second best power play in the league. And the Leafs take a few penalties early. Pew, 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 kill them all off. And that had to feel incredible. Here's what I want to know. Anyone in the comment section, was anyone at this game? What was it like at this game? Because it's so rare to go to a game like this. A game where the team that you love, the team that you cheer for, is unequivocally an underdog. Dude, they shouldn't be winning this game. They should be losing it most of the time. Yeah, Vegas has injuries too. They don't have more than the Leafs. The Leafs are getting into like Colorado Avalanche territory. But there's something David and Goliath-ish about killing a penalty. There's something that just tickles the right part of your reptilian and mammalian brain. And nothing tickles those part of your cranium better than someone getting their first career NHL goal. And in case you weren't paying attention, heading into this game, there were 2 Leafs who didn't have one of those. Until Fraser Minton. Now, if you've been paying attention on the podcast recently, I talked about Pontus Holmberg getting an assist recently. What was the thing about Pontus Holmberg getting that assist? That's right! It is the famed bench assist. When you pass to a guy, go to the bench, are no longer on the ice, and then your team scores. You don't get the plus-minus benefits, but you get a point sitting from the comfort of your bench. Gosh darn it, he did it again! He hands it off to William Nylander. Smart plan. That's what I would have done. Pass to the really good guy. And then he goes to the bench, and Willie goes to work. While Willie goes to work, Holmberg goes off, Minton comes on. Vegas Golden Knights pay him no mind whatsoever. Willie then feeds a nasty, disgusting, despicable pass through all the Golden Knights. Is it a high percentage pass? No, but it's William Nylander, and look who's there. The kid you all forgot about, Minty Fresh Fraser Minton, first career NHL goal. Tape it up, kid! It's 1-0 Leafs! All the smile, the from ear to ear! Oh, forget the other stuff. I need that in gummy form. What politician do I have to call to get that in gummy form? Do I got $1 billion idea for you? Why does it matter how I got this number? You want to be rich or not? The Leafs need... Well, if the Leafs need anybody. But when they're all healthy, they could still really use a third-line center. It's something that would tie the room together so well. The Leafs, after a win tonight, actually overtook first in the Atlantic, which is bananas. So there's not exactly an urgency for it. Hopefully, after this little November break where they don't play very many games, they get a few guys back from injured reserve. And in the meantime, they've developed this beautiful little cushion in the standings. If Fraser Minton shows that, he can't really do it right now, okay, you send him down to the minors, he develops some more, and you go and get some help. But early returns are in favor of the kid. Now, here's where the game goes a little south. Nikita Gurbenkin gets called up. That is awesome, and I really like him a lot. And I thought he had a really good game. But there was a play that wasn't very good. He hits Shea Theodore, like, right in the numbers, and Theodore's head goes right into the dasher, and he cuts his forehead. It's not the worst hit I've ever seen. I think it was more like a bad result of where Theodore hit the boards. But it's a bad hit. That's a penalty. It's a penalty. Is it a suspension? No. Is it 5? Depends on who the ref is. Is it 2? That should be 2. That should be at least 2, I think. I wouldn't want a guy on the other team doing that to one of my guys. This is all I'm saying. I'm not saying he's a bad guy. I'm just saying, I can understand why Vegas might be upset about that. Now, why wasn't that called? Well, we don't know the answer because they don't make refs available after the games. So you, who dedicated, like you paid to watch that game, I assume, either in person or the cable package, the internet package that you paid to watch this game. You're supposed to just go, I don't know. You invested 2.5 hours and money into this experience, and you don't know why that's not a penalty. And by the way, when it goes to intermission and then the panel talks about the hit and they talk about why this is or isn't clean, that's not the league. That's the broadcaster. They're just offering their opinion, same as you and me. I mean, a lot of them played in the NHL. But I've talked to a lot of these guys, they're guessing too. Their guess is just maybe a bit better informed than others. Okay, we don't know why that's a penalty, and we're not going to know why that's not a penalty because they don't make refs available after games. Okay, fine. Play on. Later in the game, Zach Whitecloud blows up Matthew Knies. Bad. 5-minute major on the ice, and they review it. One thing I will give the NHL credit on, this is good. There have already been several Leaf games, at very least this season, that have had the 5-minute review. And I think pretty much every time they've got the call right. The thing happens, because it looked bad in real time, you review it, and there have been a few times where they've confirmed it. There have been a few times where they've said, oh no, never mind, walk it back. Overall, it's a really good rule change that they have the ability to do this, and it doesn't slow the game down enough that it matters. Get the call right. Now, here's the problem. I don't think they got this one right. Do you? Here's what I got a lot of online, and you also saw this like on the broadcast panel as well. Well, he hit him in the chest, and the head wasn't the principal point of contact. And I thought I would just throw a couple pictures on screen and, it might be obvious to you, but I gotta tell you, it's not all that obvious to me, actually. Like, listen, I'm sure what you would love out of me right now is a hellfire and brimstone. You guys are idiots! That was wrong! You've seen me do that. But I tell you what, I want to be solutions oriented on this one. I want to figure something out. I want to figure something out for me, and I want to figure it out for everybody. Because all the people who are like, well, this is obviously a clean hit. Well, I don't love that it's obvious to you and not everyone else. Because there are also a ton of people going, well, this is obviously dirty. I'm going to say a bunch of stuff, and then I'm going to say why I'm frustrated. Were Zach Whitecloud's feet planted when he threw the hit? Yes. Were his flippers tucked in? Were his elbows down when he threw the hit? Yes. Was the principal point of contact the chest? I disagree. I don't think it was, man. How many of you are drinking coffee right now? At best, this is half and half. Now, while Whitecloud's feet are planted when he lays the hit, he then jumps so high that he's trying to touch the sky reading Rainbow. Now let's do everyone's favorite thing, the rule book. Rule 48, illegal check to the head. This is one of the provisions within it. Illegal check to the head. A hit resulting in contact with an opponent's head where the head was the main point of contact and such contact to the head was avoidable is not permitted. In determining whether contact with an opponent's head was avoidable, the circumstances of the hit including the following, shall be considered. This one is important. Whether the player attempted to hit squarely through the opponent's body and the head was not picked, in quotes, as a result of poor timing, poor angle of approach, or unnecessary extension of the body upward or outward. I'd say he extended upward pretty good, wouldn't you? Dude, Jacob Trouba is the master of this, and this is why he drives people nuts, because he won't get guys square in the head, but he does try to win golden pole vaults. For everyone saying, nah, he should have had his head up, yeah, that's good advice, but the next part of the rule is whether the opponent put himself in a vulnerable position by assuming a posture that made head contact on an otherwise full body check unavoidable. The other night, Ryan Reeves destroys Darnell Nurse. Nurse had his head down. Should he have? No. Should Reeves have laid that hit? Extraordinarily, no! Listen, I'm not saying the league got it wrong here, or the refs got it wrong. Well, okay, I think they got it wrong. I definitely think, it is definitely my opinion that they got it wrong. I am gonna show a little maturity though, and not scream from the rooftops that they're wrong. Here's what I want. The NHL has offices in New York and in Toronto. The NHL has a video team. They have people who put together videos for all sorts of things, all sorts of highlight packs and interviews and all sorts of fun little games, and they have an entire network. They have NHL Network. They have broadcast partners in TNT and ESPN and Rogers Sportsnet, and TSN falls in there as well, and Amazon now. They make videos only when a player is suspended, and they go, here's a bad hit, it's yucky no-no, here's why it's yucky no-no, this player has been suspended for whatever. Those videos are great. They're one of the best innovations in terms of the league communicating with their fans, communicating with the people who spend their time and money on their league, and it's a beautiful thing. This guy laid a hit. It's bad, here's why, boom. What it is it's treating your fans like they're grown-ups. It's treating your fans like they're adults. And hey, if there's any kids watching, hey, here's a great example of a hit that's bad and you can't do it. I would love, here's why this hit didn't get 5. Or here's why this hit didn't get 2. Unless I missed something, the penalty was roughing and it was from his engagement with Benoit. It wasn't from the hit itself. Even if it was from the hit, it doesn't matter. Now the usual question comes up. Well, Steve, do you want the NHL to release a video for every hit that happens that isn't called a penalty or isn't called a major or isn't suspended? No, I don't want that. But they have the capability to do this literally every night. They do. They for sure do. Listen, my company makes videos and produces stuff for a living. This wouldn't be all that difficult. The difficult part would not be making the video. That part is really easy. Like, there's talented video editors out there and they have the whole library of NHL footage from the night to go on. The more difficult part would be getting access to someone from the National Hockey League to say why. Like, it's not just showing the footage. They have to actually be like, Here's why this hit is fine. Boom. Not only would it need to be an NHL official, like someone within, I don't know, would it have to be the Department of Player Safety? Probably. I mean, and they're watching all the games, but it would probably have to be someone within the Department of Player Safety. Someone else within the NHL would have to watch it and be like, yeah, sure, I agree. And then they release it to the public. I gotta tell you, it wouldn't be that hard. I said nightly. Here. Weekly. Give us a weekly recap. And every week, pick 3. Pick 3. Pick 2. Oh my goodness, pick 1. Dude, you could have picked 2 from tonight's game. I'm a Leafs fan, and I saw the Gulbenkian hit on Theodore, and I'm like, I don't know why that's not a call. I didn't think it was the worst thing I've ever seen, but I thought it could have been 2. This one, I would love. I'll keep my mouth shut. I promise. If you're like, listen, I know why you didn't love this hit. I know what it looked like. Here's the things that we're looking for. We're looking for and and. And as you can see here, White Cloud and. He tucked his shoulder and the principal point of contact and this and that. I would love that. I would love that. But it would talk to me. It would talk to you. It would talk to the paying customer, the people who spend their hard-earned time. Forget the money, the time. There's so many things to spend your time on, and you're spending 2.5, 3 hours of it on a November weeknight on watching this product, and we're all standing there pissing into the wind. We have no idea. We have half of us yelling that it's obviously clean. We have half of us yelling that it's obviously dirty. And all I take from that is it's not that obvious, actually. Now, a few people have asked me, like, oh, do you expect a suspension to come from this? No. I would be shocked because the NHL would have to contradict their own officials. Because what happened is, it happened in real time. They opted to review it. They did review it, and their officials had the opportunity to watch the replays, I assume multiple times, and they decided, no, this is not a 5-minute major. This isn't a 2-minute major. This isn't even a penalty. It's a 2-minute major. Oh, well, leave it in. The NHL would have to contradict that official, and I just don't see them doing that. I'm sure they've done it before. It's rare. Listen, a video recapping, here's some big hits. Like, it'd be great. It'd be great. There's no hitting in today's game. Guys don't expect to get hit. It'd be great if the NHL, once a week, put up give me 5 hits. Here's why this hit is fine. Here's why this hit is borderline, and you're pushing it, but we agree with the official's decision to not give a 2-minute major or a 5-minute minor. Once a week, look it over, get everyone to agree, edit it 1,000 times, make sure you got it tight and right before you send it out to the public. And if they disagree with you, whatever. They're gonna disagree with you sometimes, but you got the rule book and your expertise, and here's our take on it officially from the league. Give us the rules. We understand. And don't talk about, the rules are written down. The written down rules have never helped anybody. 2024, we're visual learners. Use your own stuff. It's not that hard. It's really not that hard to just help us enjoy your product as a more informed customer. Why don't you want that? I don't understand. Anyway, the game continues. Leafs getting grossly outplayed. Third period arrives. The wave is coming. The onslaught is coming from Vegas. The game is getting ugly in a hurry. There's a scrum after every whistle. These guys hate each other. John Tavares was tangoing. Been known to engage in fisticuffs, you jerk. And what's crazy is the third period comes and the Leafs take over the game, ? The power plays help. They definitely help. Case in point, they scored! Leafs get a really good chance. Vegas gets a really good chance. Comes back the other way. It's a 2-on-1. Mitch Marner passes to William Nylander, who holds it, snipes it on Aiden Hill. Yuck! And the Leafs are up 2-0. And the minutes ebb away. And while they're ebbing away and the Leafs are killing the clock, I'm looking at who they're sending out on the ice. And yes, they're shorthanded, but I'm like, Craig Berube got Nick Robertson on the ice right now. Fraser Minton is on the ice right now. Craig is just rolling 4 lines. Craig, at the end of this game, started to treat this game the way we all thought he was going to treat it at the beginning of it. he's letting the kids sink or swim. They swam. Pontus Holmberg, who honestly had a really good game. I've been giving him a hard time this season. It's a tough lineup to crack. He had to step up, and he did. Great play to get the puck out of the Leaf zone, and he gets rewarded with the empty netter, his first goal of the season. How about that? He gets 2 points tonight. A bench assist, an assist where he wasn't even on the ice, and an empty netter goal. They don't ask how, they ask how many. He deserved to be rewarded. He was great. The whole team was great. And Joseph Woll, his second career NHL shutout. The undercurrent of the whole game, oh, this is chippy, oh, the kids, Woll was spectacular. Just solid the whole way through. Questions. This was an interesting conversation in my Blue Sky mentions. Did Robertson just play his last game as a Leaf? Someone responded he was not good, and the next response under that, with those efforts by Grabenkin and Minton, assuming they can keep it up, he should be worried. Okay, I'm not gonna hate on the question, because during this game, I was sort of looking at it and going, Grabenkin looks pretty good. Minton looks pretty good. And they could use a center a lot more than they could use a winger right now. Even Steves looked pretty good. I disagree that Robertson looked bad. I thought he looked good. He's got to improve without the puck. There's at least one shift a game where whatever line he is on gets hemmed in badly. And it's got to stop happening. But to me, the lesson to be taken from that is not, oh, Robertson's cooked. It's, hey, look how deep the Leafs organization is all of a sudden. It's nice. It's a strength. Username, a dumb smart person. Is it just me, or is the whole team buying into back-checking now? I saw a back-checking Leaf dive and break up a play tonight, and it astounded me. Okay, the Leafs have been, infuriating over the past few years. They've back-checked. There is definitely an increased effort, though. To me, it's less on the back-check side. It's more forechecking and physicality. This is a mean, angry team. This is not an enjoyable team to play against. And I tell you what, if Ottawa loses to the Vegas Golden Knights tomorrow on home ice while rested after Vegas just went through that, Ottawa, the Sens should fold. Vegas should not be winning that game tomorrow. No way. No, but they gotta be exhausted after that. Listen, I've said my piece with Keefe extensively. I think he's a great fit in New Jersey. I really do. I love what Craig Berube is doing with this team. Holy mackerel. So, that is it for this one. Thank you very much for watching. Click like if you like this video. Click subscribe if you really liked it. Tell all your friends. I'm not doing another LFR video until after I go to Halifax. I'm going to be going to Halifax, the Indigo there, Chain Lake Drive, on Friday night. And then Saturday afternoon, I'm going to the Indigo in Dartmouth. Going to cross a little bridge there. It's going to be a blast. I'll see you there.